Here now with more is the author of Here's the Deal, #1 New York Times bestseller, Kellyanne Conway, along with the host of the Larry Elder Show for the Epoch Times, Larry Elder, and former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Kellyanne, you got to love this. Larry's state of California. Now, I'm blaming Larry. He should have been elected out there. This wouldn't be this problem would be solved. Let's put it that way. But here they have all the natural resources. They're chasing people out of the state for the first time in 170 years. They're telling you, cool your home up to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, then put the AC up to 78. Okay, you're going to be sweating in your own bedroom, and you won't be able to sleep, and you probably can't even use a fan. And how's that working with electric vehicles, Kellyanne?
Sean, I'm coming to you from California, and the people here are all abuzz about these mandates. A couple things. Let's stop picking on working people.
Well, if you're in California, Kellyanne may pop out of the screen. If the lights go out, we'll know why.
We'll know why. So let's stop picking on working people. First, they have to pay for the Harvard-educated doctors, lawyers, and business people. Now they're being told when they get home from a hard day's work at 4 p.m., they're ready to open their fridge, cook dinner for their kids, fire up the air conditioning. They can't touch any of that. Don't open your fridge, don't air condition your house, and don't cook for your family. Don't do the laundry. It makes absolutely no sense. But listen, I think Newsom 2024, his platform is starting to take shape. An open border in Southern California, the streets of San Francisco, where he was mayor before he was lieutenant governor and governor, littered with needles and feces, homeless encampments everywhere, ships and containers off in the Pacific Ocean waiting to unload here. And now this. Look, it's beyond hypocrisy. The face of this Democratic Party starts right here in California. Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, those liar big mouths, Schiff and Swalwell, Maxine Waters. And everybody should take note. This is what the Democratic Party wants the rest of us to be. And in addition to being hypocritical and hurting the wrong people, Gavin Newsom can't get his story straight. He took the kids out of the schools for almost 2 years. He made them sit behind a computer in everybody's kitchens and pretend that screen time is school time. Now, Sean, you have kids leaving the schools early or canceling classes now in places like San Diego, Denver, Philly, all across here in different places in California because they don't have air conditioning. Do you know that Congress passed billions of dollars in COVID relief to make sure there was proper ventilation, air conditioning, and these kids are out of school again? Now you know why Gavin Newsom's in-laws moved to Florida, voted for Ron DeSantis, gave money to Ron DeSantis, and are now registered Republicans. It started right in the Newsom household.
Yes, that's true. Larry, all right, it's your state. So Buttigieg has said it, Granholm has said it, Biden has said it, Harris has said it, that they want energy independence with renewables. And they want Americans to think about buying the $20,000 extra cost electric vehicle that's powered by fossil fuels. Okay. Explain to me why it's okay to import oil from the Iranians because they want to do this deal, or the Venezuelans, or beg the Saudis and kiss the ass of the Crown Prince, or beg OPEC that keeps rejecting calls to increase production. Why is it okay to get energy from them and not produce it domestically? Nobody's been able to answer that question for me.
Well, I consider that to be a rhetorical question, Sean. You know the answer. It's not okay. And look, remember when Jean-Pierre was asked whether or not Joe Biden even owns an EV, and she danced around it? It is clear that the commander-in-chief, who wants everybody to go green, doesn't even own an EV. And I'm here in California, Sean, and it's even worse. Some people, not everybody, got texts from the state urging people not to watch television during peak hours and to either play cards or to write a book. I kid you not. And only 1.9% of all of the 30 million vehicles in California are EVs. And as you know, shortly after this mandate that would ban all new sales of gasoline-powered cars effective 2035, they said, don't plug in your EV during peak hours. Imagine when there are 20 or 30 million EVs here in California. And finally, Sean, it wouldn't matter if all of a sudden California went to zero emissions. It wouldn't matter if the United States went to zero emissions, or Canada, or Germany. It wouldn't have any effect at all on the planet because of the CO2 spilled out by China and by India that are building coal-powered plants every single day. The whole thing is absurd. It is a scam, the likes of which I've never seen before.
You know, Mark Meadows, Donald Trump did something, I think one of his greatest accomplishments as president. He got us to energy independence for the first time in 75 years. He left office. America was a net exporter of energy. I would like to return to that and even take it a step further and become the single most energy dominant country in the world. And I would like to provide all the energy needs of all of our Western European allies. And I think that would make America rich again, lower everybody's tax base, and everybody would prosper, and it would create how many millions of high-paying career jobs in the energy sector?
Well, it would make America great again. You know, Congress is real certain that they need to do investigations. Perhaps they need to do an investigation on how we went from energy dominance to energy beggars in 2 years. Listen, this reminds me of the Jimmy Carter days. You know, if you remember his energy speech, and he said, well, you just have to get used to it. We just have to go this way. But it really is all about them doubling down on their policy, destroying our resources, jacking up the prices, and then suggesting that you're the problem. They need to look in the mirror. I mean, you know, maybe the question is that I wonder if there's been a call made to the French Laundry restaurant that allowed Governor Newsom to not wear a mask to say, you need to set it up to 78 degrees on your thermostat. You know, perhaps all this travel that we're all thinking that it's Governor Newsom going to go and challenge Joe Biden, he's just looking for a state where he can cool off.
Yes, well said. So Kellyanne, our friend Robert Cahaley of Trafalgar, came out with a poll. 56.8% of respondents watched that speech in Philly with the deep, dark red, eerie background. Although if you watched on CNN, it was a pretty pink. They changed the color. But anyway, that's 56.8% said it was a dangerous escalation in rhetoric, and they said it was designed to incite conflict among Americans. As far as the economy goes, a majority of Americans, according to Gallup, 56% again, now say price increases are causing financial hardship for their households. 2/3 of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck, and more than a third of working families cannot afford simple basic needs after they cut out everything they can possibly cut out. Now the question is, how did we go from a prosperous economy to this mess in 19 months?
Well, I thought CNN's pink hue was a lovely gender reveal. I just didn't understand it. But on this,
had to be.
with the people, I got to tell you, in focus groups and in polling, what they're saying is they're very scared. There's a lot of fear and frustration out there. You know, Sean and gentlemen, it started out with gas and groceries, but now it is utility bills. It's the rent. It's the mortgage. It's the car payment, the tuition payment, the student loan payment. Everyday life has become increasingly unaffordable under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He's taken away our national security, our border security, economic security, and frankly, our public safety, just our physical security. And he didn't erase any of that by going and castigating and denigrating half of the country. You know, we on the Republican Party, conservative movement, we're going to attack issues. He's going to attack individuals. And everybody's grandmother was right. Big minds talk about big issues and big challenges. Small minds talk about other people. And that's what Joe Biden is doing. I've never seen somebody try to engage voters by enraging them, by alienating them. And it's not going to work because his numbers are still underwater and people still don't have the warmth for him, see him as inspiring as a leader, compassionate, a man with a plan, has the vision and the acuity to get the job done. He knows when the Republicans take the House and Jim Jordan gets that gavel, his son Hunter Biden will be the first investigating. I guarantee you that the country will be for that, because that guy flew around on government taxpayer-funded aircraft, shaking down governments and people of other companies. He had no energy experience. His father has no energy. It's a big, hot mess. The Republicans will win in the fall, particularly in the House.
Larry, how does this impact the midterms?
Well, I think it's going to affect the midterms. The top two issues are crime and inflation, and then you got throw in gas prices. People are very, very angry. And this top-down stuff, at least in this last speech, John, he didn't refer to Americans as semi-fascist the way he did a few days earlier. Now, what is the definition of fascism? Socialism is when government owns the means of production. Fascism is when the government allows you to own the means of production, but tells you how to run them. We're talking about California. They just set up a board that will establish what the wages are for fast food workers. Imagine that, a board telling you what your wages ought to be, and they say they're going to be a minimum of $22 a month. So again, fascism is when you are allowed to run your business, but the government tells you how to run it. Outrageous.
And Mark, will this be a driving issue? Will these be driving issues during the election? And do you see Republicans, do you see a wave election that many are predicting? I hate to make those predictions myself.
Well, I hate to make the predictions, but what you look at are the falling poll numbers of Joe Biden. You look at the way that they're not learning from those falling poll numbers. They're just, continuing to double down, triple down on all their failed policies. Even when you go to Pennsylvania and you talk to the Pennsylvania voters there, they know what honest and true is. And it wasn't coming from the lips of our commander-in-chief that currently occupies 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
All right, Mark, Larry, Kellyanne, thank you all. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.